Etching, prepping, and laying the acrylic for our tutorial winner. The white tip with 3 different hues of pink acrylic faded on nail bed. I'm etching the nail prior to gluing the tip, ridding my natural nail of all its oils. I have 2 different size tips to show you, one smaller than the other. I'm using the smaller to create the point, but both, if you see, different in size, fit my nail from side to side. It makes it easier if you size the smaller of the two if you're creating the pointed or stiletto look, just because it takes off time in filing the tip because it's skinnier, of course, at the end once we've laid the acrylic. I'm now blending the nail, so go ahead and blend your tip into your nail bed so that you do not see any of the tip on the nail bed. I file on top of the tip and on the sides rather than underneath, just so that you do not take off the natural curve to the tip. The blending, of course, is important because we do not want to see any of it inside the application of the acrylic. Once the blending is complete, I buff the surface just so that it is smooth when I lay the white ball of acrylic for the free edge or the white tip in the next step. You do not have to do that step. It just makes it easier for the acrylic to move on the surface. You're going to want to prime your nail, the nail bed, so that your acrylic does not lift. Of course, lifting we do not want if it is applied correctly, so that it does not create problems once the client comes back for their fill. I just rid the nail of the debris from the buffer with the acrylic liquid before I lay this white ball of acrylic. I lay it higher on one side and then swing it around so that it creates points easier on both sides. If you do not lay it that way, you tend to, when you swing from whichever side you start, swing that white acrylic around, you usually wind up with too much white acrylic on that side that you swing it to. Some of us are right-handed, some of us are left. So that would be different, of course, for us. Creating the well to lay the first ball of pink hue, the neon pink, will be laid against the white. Laying the first ball of pink hue, the neon pink, you will want to lay this ball of acrylic with more liquid in your brush so that you can allow, when you place it, for it to fall in the well. So the deepest of that neon pink is resting against the white acrylic, but you also can pat that out and thin it to fade it on your nail prior to putting, of course, the first ball of neon pink. Now we're placing the first ball of the hot pink. When placing this ball of acrylic, you can have less liquid in your brush so that when you place it on top of the neon pink, you do not see where you've faded the neon on your nail bed. You should be able to see that it's faded from all angles. I like to lay my acrylic so that I do not have to file much at the end. So in the next few steps, I'm going to attempt to show you from the sides how it is laid. Not perfect, but close to it so that I do not have to file again much at the end. Time is everything, so I try to create everything to be simple, if it makes sense. I lay the P3 ball of acrylic over the neon at the cuticle. You always will want to go around the cuticle once you place that ball against it, so that you can ensure that there is no acrylic on the cuticle. That will cause lifting, and we do not want that. There, from all angles, if you're able to see that there's not much filing to do. And then I go back and put a ball of the P3 acrylic on top of the neon pink, only if the client wants the neon pink to not be as bright. Both, of course, look good. It's just a preference. So, of course, with just doing one nail, you will have to let that nail dry, cure completely before you file. After a few minutes, I tap the nail. It makes a clicking noise if it's dry or cured completely before I file. Again, I file on the top of the nail and down if I need to make the shape different when making it into a point, depending on how pointed or stiletto, if you're doing that shape, how stiletto or pointed your client wants it. Again, I do not file underneath the nail. I want the natural curve of the tip. Of course, all of us have different methods and ways of filing. So go ahead and file that nail. if you are creating the square look that is in the tutorial winner, it of course will not take you as long as it does if you're creating the point, the stiletto shape. Okay, now we want to buff the nail to a shine. We want to apply the cuticle oil after dusting it off. That's everybody's favorite part. It shows the natural hue of the fade you just created on the nail bed. Winner.